Back to work on the treehouse today, and I've started with the siding. Yesterday, though I didn't shoot any videos of it, I managed to cut all the siding to length. The siding is 94.5 inches long, so I had to cut like, what does that work out to be, like 1.5 inches off the 8-foot sheet, something like that. So here's the first side that I did. It was the easy side because I had this these exposed rafters to stand on to work on it. Here you can see the finished edge a little better. You see it's just screwed in. I used Deckmate screws, I think they're called. 2.5 inches long. This weird version of a square drive, just standard number 2 bits work fantastic here, and I find them so much better than a Phillips bit. They don't tear out. This will all get painted, and the screws are coated to resist rust, so I think I'll be okay. It's T111, so it's just tongue and groove. They just lap over each other. You can see there it's a little uneven near the top, but that'll all disappear when I put soffits in. Down near the bottom, it's just held off a little bit above the rafters so that this edge here doesn't sit here. Instead, it should stay dry now. That metal flashing I had is virtually invisible behind it at this point now. That'll keep the bottom of the treehouse dry. Because the treehouse is a nice 8x12, I was able to just put 3 pieces on here. And you can see around this side, just got this little leg here, so after I get the sheathing on this side, I'll run a tiger saw down the edge and just rough rip it because I have to put a corner board on anyway. So that's that. On the inside, starting to look like something. Right there is where I'll cut out for the window. And I'm also going to have windows here and here. So I think it'll let in enough light, and what I will probably do is put a skylight in over here somewhere too, but I'm worried about the roof later. Right now it's temporarily watertight. Because the walls are just 2x4s, essentially toenailed in, they are subject to a little bit of twisting and racking, and Hurricane Sandy didn't help with that. It had a little bit of a list after the hurricane, so you can see here, it's close to plumb. It's not perfect. That actually looks damn near perfect, but the problem is that this stud isn't necessarily plumb with this stud, parallel with this stud, parallel with this stud, so it's close to plumb. Certainly close enough for a tree house, probably close enough for a real house. And like in this case, I've got this board that's wedged in down here at the bottom and screwed in to that one and this one. And I just put my shoulder into it, I twisted it till it got close, I threw a couple screws in. So that's how I'm squaring it up as reasonably as possible. I'm not going crazy with the squaring. And that face back there, which is the back of the treehouse, is going to be the next face to sheathe. So that'll be the next step. I'm up on the ladder now. I've just finished screwing in the T111 on the rear of the treehouse. Most of it is standard stuff, like that fastener row you see there. That's screwed into studs. A couple extra things I did was I noticed the top was a bit wavy, so I kind of toe screwed it into this header here. Now it's tight as a drum. And then you can kind of see right here is a tongue and groove joint. Well, that tongue and groove joint, if we look over the edge, does not line up with a rafter or a stud. Excuse me, I continue to confuse them. So what I did was I just took the scrap of 2x4 that was laying in the mess over there, and I put it here, and I got one screw started on this side. I was able to hold it in place. These are nice self-tightening screws. I'm blanking on the brand now, but see that they only have the thread on the bottom. So once the non-threaded section of the shaft is into the plywood, they'll suck the plywood nice and tight and don't create a gap between the two. So just by holding this over the edge, I was able to put this screw here in, and then I kind of lined it up. I went down one side, screwed it. I went down the other side, screwed it. And now the joint is nice and tight. So there's that. This side I'd pre-cut with the track saw. It's nice and tight. On this up here you see it's proud. Just the slightest bit. Sorry it takes the phone a minute to refocus. But that's certainly as accurate as every other joint I've done. You have to remember that this side too will get a pack out, so it'll be a little emptiness at the corner, and when I put the corner bead on, it'll be fine. So that's certainly good enough for government work. If I come back here, you can kind of see we've got this leg and that leg that notch around the tree. Well, because here's the full side. From here to here is a full 8 foot, just like it is from here all the way to that outside edge is a full 8 foot. The rip scrap from here should, in theory, fit right over there perfectly. I've not yet fitted in, but I'm going to say that it fits perfect, and I'll amend that statement if it doesn't later on. So with this side done, actually the next thing that I've already done is I've taken that diagonal 2x4 and the level, and I had to actually screw it in over here, push like hell on this wall to bring it into plumb. Then my wife screwed down in that back corner, and then I later threw one more screw right in there to hold the thing. And now, in terms of from where I'm standing now, the left to right, it is perfectly plumb. So now the next thing I'm going to do is take this ladder I'm standing on, and I'm going to set it up over on that side, and then start hanging sheathing there. My wife needs to leave for work in a few minutes, so hopefully I can get 2 sheets just kind of hoisted into place and tacked on, because I need a little bit of help moving the full sheets up there. So that's where I stand now. I'll just throw in that as I'm working on this stuff, I've been listening to Wood Talk Online, or Wood Talk Online Radio, or just Wood Talk, or whatever the boys choose to call it now that it's a weekly show. And I strongly believe that as you do your woodworking, you should listen to the same thing. Here I am set up for the rear face. Unfortunately, I've managed to run out of time. My wife has to go to work, and I don't think I can get a full sheet up and secured. Though I'm feeling cocky as I record this. I was going to call it a night. Since I'm already in place, I just need to take the board that's over there and stretch it between the 2 ladders. What the hell? Let's see if I can get one hung by myself. So, was it a good idea to try to hang this by myself? Yes, it was a good idea. Now to screw the damn thing in. It's hard to see because of this delightful tree I need to hang on to, but here is one corner of the tree side screwed in. Fits nicely. I'm not going to get to this side today because this side is actually the cutoff from the last piece over here, and I'm not going to get to that. I've got the first piece hung. I'm going to just rearrange the ladder that's down there so I can get that screwed off. I think I'm going to go out front, pack everything up, and call it a night. Got a bit of cleanup to do, but we're going to call it a night for now. So you see I got the first piece on the, let me see, that's the northwest face, kind of the side face. Just come around, I haven't done the front yet. The front will be the last face I do. On this side face, this side's completely done. And come around the back. The main plane of the back is done. Still have to do that little section of the top, but that's true of the front also. I just put a Z-metal between the two to drain water out, and then I'll get to that. But I'm going to go all the way around the bottom before I worry about that. Back here at this notch for the tree, I've got the back face of the notch done. The side face of the notch will be the cutoff from the third piece of sheathing that'll go here and here. So it's a full sheet, half a sheet, and then the second half. And that'll close it off. So that's where we stand for now. Treehouse is finally beginning to look like something. Let me just take a walk out here and look back at it. So there we have it. It's the end of the whatever day, number day this is, of the penultimate treehouse build out. Get back to it next weekend with any luck.